Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to look at some saddle stitching with you in a way that perhaps you may not have seen before. I know I haven't, and yeah, this is new to me. What I've done is I've made up a little acrylic piece here and drilled some holes in it that we're going to be stitching through. So the acrylic represents our two pieces of leather that are stuck together. The holes obviously are stitching holes, and I've polished up this this face so that you can see through and you can see what's actually going on as we're feeding the needles through the leather. Hopefully that's going to work for us. I've not tried it yet, so fingers crossed. What I've got is I've got a white thread and a red thread. I'm going to join them together. Typically we'd use one thread with a needle on either end. What I'm going to do here is use two threads, attach them together and pretend that they're one. But this way you get to see my left hand needle and my right hand needle operating separately. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we've got our piece of acrylic set up here. You can see the holes are going through this way. I've polished up this face as much as I can so you can see through, but I was struggling to polish the actual holes, so you have to bear with me. What I've done is I've got two pieces of thread and joined them together. I've got a red piece and a white piece, join them in the middle, and that's what we're going to be sewing with. Normally you'd use just one piece, but just to illustrate a point, I've gone for two different colours, one for either side, so that's why we've done that. So let's go ahead and sew. So I'm right-handed. I like to sew with my right hand first. So I go into this top hole. Actually, we'll start off. We'll go into this top hole, pull it through, and we will get this knot to sit in the hole. Nice and tidy. Now I'm just going to trim these bits of excess. Let's sharpen those. Okay, so we've got our knot in the hole, so that's the middle of our thread, from end to end. So we have a needle on either end here. This is extreme close up, so I'm get used to where the camera is. Okay, so I've got a red end and a white end. I'm going to start with my right hand, so currently it's the red side. I'm going to come to this next hole here. Now I'm going to come behind it with this needle and get hold. I'm going to pull it through about this far, and then I'm going to turn my hand around through 90 degrees. So now the needle that I had in my left hand is at the back of the pair. I'm going to go in, see if we pull this down tight, I'm going to go in above that red thread, so between these two. Okay, so now on the right hand side the needles come out between these two. Sorry about the shaky camera. I'm just going to pull on this thread just a little bit. Doing that is a really crucial step that a lot of people don't either know or have never tried before. Just that little movement there will tell you whether or not you've punctured your thread with your needle going through. And if you do that while your needle is still in the hole, you can pull the thread off the end of the needle and just carry on sewing. If you pull your needle all the way through and it's punctured the thread in the middle here and you've not known, when you start to sew then you get yourself into a big mess. So by just doing that just a little tug there will let you know that you're safe. Once you know that you're safe, lift this thread over the top of the needle and then go ahead and pull it through. So what you end up with on this side is this. Okay, so you're coming underneath. Yeah. Then we pull through, nice and snug. Okay. Now what you can see here as you're looking down from the top is that our red thread is on the top and our white thread sitting underneath it. Okay, so we're going to do that same motion again. Right hand in, needle behind, make a cross, pick it up, turn it round through 90, go in behind that thread, tug it, lift it over the top, pull the needle through. As we pull that on tight, you'll see now that, hopefully you can see that it's the white thread that is sat on top and the red thread is underneath. Okay, I can do that again. Right hand in, come behind, make a cross, pull it through, turn it through 90, in behind the red thread, lift over, pull through. And again, speed that up a little bit. And again. Just keep going until we've come to the end of the line. You'll notice I always stitch towards me as well. I'm sure there are people who stitch away from them, but I've always been taught to stitch towards yourself. And if you do it the same every time, you know which orientation you're in, then you always know where you are. Right now we've come to the end of our line of stitching and we want to seal it off, secure it anyway. So we're just going to go back a couple of stitches. So I'm going to go over and retrace my steps. So right hand in here. I'm going to be aiming for the bottom of this, where the thread comes in here. I want my needle to be coming out underneath. Yeah, it's hard to show from an over the top point of view. Now you see that's just pulled that thread loose a little bit. It's okay, we're just going to snug it up here. Keep that taut. And pull both pieces tight. Okay, then we're going to drop that, take our white one, go in at the top of this side. Ideally you want to go in at the top. Yeah, in at the top. To come out at the top. And then we'll go in down at the bottom. And come out on that one. Again, snug it up. In at the top. A little bit tight. There we go. One more. Now, if your piece has an obvious front and an obvious back, then leave both of your tails on the back. If it doesn't have an obvious front and an obvious back, rookie mistake. If it doesn't have an obvious front and an obvious back, then I would recommend you put a tail on either side. That's how I go about it. So, as this doesn't have an obvious front or back, put one on either side. Come in with our nippers, tidy that up. Now, if you want to, you can get a lighter or something. Melt these ends, press them in. Personally, I don't do that anymore. I found that these stitches aren't going to come undone. It's going to take a lot to unravel 3 lots of stitches. Plus, when I melt the ends, they go hard and scratchy, so it doesn't always feel nice. So, just a preference thing, and be aware that is an option with polyester and nylon threads. You can't melt them if they're cotton. So there you go. Yeah, let's just take that out of the vanish. You can see, excuse the mess on the front of this, but you get an idea there. You can see what your stitching actually looks like. If you were to be able to see through your work. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we've got our little piece that we've just sewn up. And if you've seen on my Instagram, there was a post by a chap by the name Creative All, it's his channel. He posted something that I reposted. It was a really interesting picture that kind of depicted the difference between saddle stitch and machine lock stitch. One of the arguments for saddle stitch is that it's much stronger. If one of the threads breaks, it's not going to unravel straight away. So I figured now we've got this, we might as well put that to the test. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these. The focus is terrible on this. I'm just going to go ahead and cut one in the middle. There you go. You can hopefully see that red one there. I've broken that. So if that was a machine stitch on a t-shirt or something, we've all had it, haven't we? The stitch goes and then just slowly starts to unravel, just from wear, and I'm rubbing this, trying to encourage it out. Okay, so it's just pulled through a little bit on the red side, but it was quite aggressive tug of war. But you'll see that the white stitch is held absolutely fine, not a problem at all. And actually this stitch here that's come out wasn't the one that was severed. That's the stitch from when I doubled back on myself at the end of my row. So it's actually this one that was severed, and that's not really gone anywhere. This one has, but the stitch as a whole, the actual garment or item, would not come apart if that were the case. Whereas lock stitch, that would definitely start to open up. Like I say, we've all had it on a t-shirt or a pair of jeans or something, where the thread starts to go and then it all just unravels really quickly. It's not going to be the way with this. Anyway, I hope that was of some use to someone. Hopefully the little stitching tutorial there will help a few people out. If you were getting muddled up with things, go back, watch that section, and hopefully that'll help you in the future. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.